John, a little bit about where we are today.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a beautiful area called Kenny's Well. Of course, St. Canice goes back to the 5th, early 6th century actually, but the first historical notes that we have in Kilkenny of this area here would be the 13th century, when we had a Bishop of Ulster, I think Geoffrey III. He gave up the license, as it were, at the time, I suppose you could say, to the Dominicans down the Black Abbey to take water from this well for the needs of their house down there in Abbey Street. But in those days, I mean, this was a very historic site, and this Kenny's Well here is a walled site. Of course, that you can see a wall site, and a well here, just down here at the bottom of what they call Crocker's Hill. And Kenny's Well gave the name actually to this whole area that goes from Black Mill Street down to my left, right out to Kilkenny, out to the borough boundary. So this is called the Kenny's Well area. And from the 13th century on, in actual fact, St. Canice's Day was a holy day of obligation in this city, and was served as such for many, many years. Over the years, I suppose we have so many significant and historic sites and buildings in this city, and I genuinely believe that this one hasn't probably got the notoriety that it actually deserves. When you think of going back to the 6th century and being in our archives and our history from the 13th century, genuinely, this is the original site, this is the original wall. And from that date, that very earliest date, we have here the building itself, the well here, with the special, I suppose, well building, limestone, whitewashed well building, in which and from which the spring flows copiously for all those centuries to this very day, and has never failed to flow straight into the nearby, at the rear of this building, down to the Braga River, which is adjacent. In recent years, unfortunately, the site, as you can see, is surrounded by limestone, beautiful limestone wall, but unfortunately the wall just adjacent at the bank of the Braga River, because of erosion, has fallen in to the Braga River. And I know this site for many, many years. I had an aunt who lived in Emmett Street, and I remember coming down to the local move shop for my sweets, coming up with all my friends, eating the sweets and being brought down by the adults here to say a prayer at the well. Well, in recent years, because of the flooding that we had in the city in the earlier years and the erosion of the bank of that River Braga, the wall, unfortunately, down at the river bank has fallen into the river. Since I became mayor, I was interested in this, visited the site, and saw that the wall had fallen into the river, and I met a neighbour here just to my left hand, John Hackett. The Hackett family have served this area very well, and in actual fact he put a floodlight on the gable of his house to ensure that this precious site and this precious well is kept safe by day and by night, which it is, supported, should I say, by the local county council, and we observe that. In actual fact, in the 1980s, they formed a committee, the Kenny's Well Committee, to look after this precious site and this precious well. And on an annual basis, they hold their Mass here and other celebrations as well. But of course, because of recent times of the COVID pandemic, they couldn't hold the Mass this year. But I met John in recent times, and he was delighted when I told him that in recent times that I had put down a notice of motion to ensure that the restoration of the full site, and namely the wall just here at the River Braga, would be rebuilt and restored, because some of the stones in the wall have been, I suppose, seen to, and some activity has taken place down there, and researchers found that some of the stones in that wall have fallen into the river are of medieval origin. So it's a very important site for many, many reasons, and a most historic site. And if you have a site here and a well, and I suppose the other thing too, of course, St. Canice, Kilkenny, that's where Kilkenny derives its name. So I don't think it can be more historic, more real, or more authentic, and very unique. So I say, for this time of having our smashing Kilkenny Day for city and county, I suppose we'd be remiss of me as mayor of Kilkenny City, and being proud of Kilkenny City, of course, but being particularly proud of Kilkenny as well, the place that I'm familiar with for many, many years. I'd urge as many people as possible, and a lot of people are not, I suppose, don't even realise that St. Canice, I suppose, the founder name, I suppose, the good man of Kilkenny City and County, his well is right here from down to all those centuries. The water, like I said, flows copiously still there. And I suppose it would be a nice message to send forward to the people of Kilkenny, the city and the environment, and indeed others as well to visit, to have a look at this very precious site for that smashing day.